friends, welcome to this online series of lectures on Industry 4.0. So in this lecture, we are going to learn about the framework of Industry 4.0 as well as the state of art. State of art includes the horizontal and vertical integration as well as the end-to-end engineering. So we will look into detail in this particular session. So let's start. So in this session, we are starting with the introduction session, right? What is the framework of Industry 4.0? What is the conceptual framework as well as the RAMI I4.0, which was initially incorporated by the Germany. Then we will look into RAMI I4.0 framework. Also, we will look into the conceptual framework, which was developed by leading scientists and researchers. And finally, we will look into the value drivers of Industry 4.0. So as we already know from the previous lectures, starting lectures, we discussed about the smart factory, which also includes the different manufacturing processes as well as they are interconnected with the help of the cutting edge communication technologies, networking technologies, right? Here it is shown the surveillance system, right? Data collection management, robotic arm, here is the manufacturing solution is given, right? All of these facilities which are provided within the factory, they are interconnected, right? With the help of this RFID, radio frequency, this ID tags are there, right? Identification tags are there, barcodes are there. So what do they do? They will try to collect the data, right, from these machineries, from these processes, the products which are being manufactured, and together they are interconnected, right, with the help of the networking. So this is a case of smart factory, right? Then we also discussed about the conceptual framework. Let's look into the conceptual framework, where on the horizontal axis, if you look closely here, the smart design is there, right? The first and the foremost on the x-axis is given smart design, right? It will start with the product design, which is smart. So how do you deploy this kind of smart design? With the help of this sensor deployment, right? If you go vertically up, right, it is almost like design oriented, design data collection, starting with the first of all, if you see here, it is a deployment, right? You deploy the sensors, right? After deploying the sensors, what you will do is you will collect the data based on the design, right? Again, you will analyze the data. Once you have collected the data, what will you do? You will analyze the data, right? And then what you will do, it is the design, whatever the decisions are there, data driven decisions are there, you will do get on to with the decisions based on the design. So what are the different aspects if you go horizontally here? From design, right, monitoring, machining, control, and embedding, or sorry, scheduling, right? So all together here on the horizontal axis, these are processes are monitored and processed, right, smartly. So how do they go around along here smartly? By deployment, right, collection, analysis, and then decision making based on this kind of scenario, right? Clear? So this kind of conceptual framework is also adopted. See, this is not the final conceptual framework. There are multiple frameworks, but we will look into one of the standard framework, which is also known as the RAMI I4.0 network. The previous conceptual framework was just developed by one of the researcher. It is not the standard one, right? But RAMI is the standard framework which was developed by German experts, which is the reference architectural model for Industry 4.0, RAMI I4.0. So what does this structure means? It is a three-dimensional map showing the almost important aspects of the Industry 4.0. Whatever the aspects, typical aspects are there, which will cover the Industry 4.0 framework. These aspects are being covered in this diagram, or you can say this model. Let me show you the model. So this is the model. This is the framework on triple axis, 3D axis, right? All the axes are shown here, starting from the hierarchy level. We already looked into the hierarchy level in the automation pyramid, which we discussed in the previous lectures, right? At the bottom, you have the sensor technologies, right? Then you have the PLC, SCADA, right? And all together up to the ERP system, where you have the enterprise resource planning. So all these layers, or you can say the levels, are the hierarchy levels. Clear? Here at the bottom, if you see here from the product, right, field devices are there. You can see the sensors are there, and then you have the control devices are there, right? All these are on the hierarchy, right, up to the connected devices, where you have the devices which are connected through the cloud computing, right? On this axis, if you see here, life cycle and value stream are given. Now, what do you mean by life cycle? Whenever you are going to develop a product, starting from the concept stage to the end of the product, right, towards the recycling or scrapping, right, the whole cycle is nothing but the life cycle of a product. And then you have the value stream as well, the process from which you get the product realization, which is useful for a customer. That is the whole set of a processes is the value stream. Now, based on life cycle and value stream, here on this axis, if you see, it is type and instances. Two different types are there based on the production and design, right? All different layers are there here. From business levels is there, or layers, business functions, information, communication, integration, and asset. So all these layers, if you see here, they integrate along with the hierarchy levels at different levels. These layers integrate to get the framework of industry 4.0. This is the hypothetical model, right? But they all together, all these layers work together to form the framework of industry 4.0. Now let's look into the value drivers. What do you mean by value drivers? It is ultimately the benefits the customers, or you can the users, end users, are deriving out of this industry 4.0 components as well as the technologies, right? And if you see the core components and the core services provided in terms of resources, right, or you can see the processes, asset utilization, right, here labor, in terms of labor, inventory, quality, all these outer layers are the benefits derived from the industry 4.0. If you say, for example, if you are looking into this asset utilization, right, asset in the sense whatever the machineries are involved in the manufacturing of a typical product, that can be called as an asset. So how do you utilize that kind of asset? It means that you can go to for the routing flexibility, right, machine flexibility. For example, machine is also called as the asset, right? Remote monitoring from any computer or from the server, right? Predictive maintenance, definitely one of the benefits of this cloud computing as a technology of industry 4.0 you can derive. So all of this outer layer, if you see, these are the benefits derived from, or you can see the value drivers, right? Value drivers of the industry 4.0. Enabling technologies are driving, right, the value for the customers. These are the values the customers are getting, or you can see the end users are getting out of industry 4.0. Let's look into the state of art. What do you mean by state of art? It is the highest level of general development. Means, let's say for example, industry 4.0, if we talk about industry 4.0 at present scenario, what is the highest level of development worldwide has been taken place? So we will look into that. Specifically, the state of art consists of three main features. The first of all is the horizontal integration. If you talk about any particular company, right, we will see how good the company is integrated horizontally, right? Then vertical integration should also be there. And then finally, end-to-end engineering, it should be predefined according to the industry 4.0. We will look into detail about this successful adaptation of industry 4.0 in terms of state of art. So which will require three basic features: horizontal integration, vertical integration, as well as end-to-end engineering. So starting with the horizontal integration, so we already know, we have discussed about this automation pyramid, right, which is ultimately converted into industry 4.0 pyramid, hypothetical pyramid, where you have at the top the cloud computing technology, right, where each and every devices are connected to the cloud. Now let's start with the supplier, where the sources are located, right? From the sources, the material is being sourced. Where it is sourced, it is being sourced to the company. Now here the suppliers are already connected to the manufacturing unit through the IoTs, Internet of Things and related technology, right? And then from this industry manufacturing unit, it is distributed. If it is a local distribution, right, national distribution or international distribution, it is again being connected to the manufacturing, and these all are connected together. And this is nothing but the horizontal integration. They are integrated horizontally from supplier to the manufacturer to the distributors. So that is the horizontal distribution. Now if we talk about this pyramid, we will also look into the vertical integration. That is our next topic, that is the vertical integration. We'll start with the sensors. Right at the bottom of the automation pyramid, if you look, they are the machineries and the processes that are connected. with the help of sensors, right? If you go to the next level, we have the PLC, right? They are controlled and monitored with the help of programmable logic controllers, right? In-depth knowledge you will get in the computer-aided manufacturing subject regarding the programmable logic controllers. So they and SCADA, right? Now SCADA, what does it do? It is supervisory control, right, and data acquisition software, so that you acquire the data and you supervise as well with the help of this SCADA technology, right? Another level, right? Then you have manufacturing execution system, MES, and finally you have the ERP. The well-known ERP we have is enterprise resource planning software like SAP, Oracle. They literally plan for the whole enterprises, the resources for the whole enterprises, right? And finally you have the vertical integration, right? Sorry, vertical integrations of these hierarchy levels, and these are all connected right to the cloud, right? So that is nothing but the vertical integrations starting from the sensors to the cloud. Now let's look into the end-to-end engineering. What do you mean by end-to-end engineering? It starts with the product design and development, starting from the concept stage where the product is developed, right? Then we have the planning. How do you go about planning for the product? Means how do you deploy product in the market, where it will be positioned in the market? All of this are realized before the product is launched, right? You plan for the product. This is whole life cycle of a, it is also, you can say, the whole life cycle of a product. Then you have the product engineering, production engineering, where you will realize, you will plan for the schedules, right? Routing and inventory management. You will plan beforehand, right? How are you going to manufacture the product, and then you will go about market that product. Then you will actually do the production of that product, right? The whatever the items you want to produce, right? Accordingly you will produce that. So this whole process, end-to-end engineering, starting from the concept stage, right, till the service stage, right? The difference between end-to-end engineering, if we talk about the life cycle, and the life cycle is that life cycles also take into care about the disposal of the product. Say for example, are you going to reuse that product into the manufacturing cycle, right? Or are you going to dispose of that product? Here in this service, end-to-end engineering is up to services level only. So this is how we have the state of the art features of the industry 4.0, which includes three basic features specifically. The first one is the horizontal integrations, where you have the from suppliers to the distributors and the manufacturer, they all are connected horizontally, right? And we have the vertical integrations, where within the manufacturing unit you have the interconnections between the sensors devices to the machineries, right? From programmable logic controllers, sensors, SCADA, manufacturing execution system, and finally you have the ERP, which is connected at the top level, right? Which is again being connected to the cloud, which is a peculiar feature of the industry 4.0. So that's all we have, right? So in this lecture, what we have discussed here, the conceptual framework of one of the leading researcher, right? But you cannot say that that is the final framework, but at least with RAMI i4.0 framework, which was first developed by German manufacturing experts, right? Which is also being used as a reference architecture, where you have the hierarchy levels, where you have the conventional automation pyramid levels are there, and you also have the hierarchy levels in terms of the business integrations, right? Business functions integrations is also there. So both are integrated to get the reference architecture for the industry 4.0. We also discussed about the state of art, where you have the horizontal integration, vertical integration as the and the end-to-end engineering. So that's all from today's lecture. In next lecture, we are going to look into detail about the supporting technology for the industry 4.0. We already described the initial parts, or you can say the initial beginner level introduction to this supporting technologies, but we will look into the defining terms of the components of industry 4.0 in next lecture. Till then, thank you. Bye.